Hello everyone, welcome to the GSM Inspired Spotlight. This week I have Bryan Anderson, another finance guy. Welcome in.
Thank you. Nice to be here. No.
Jeff, get you scared yet?
Not at all. No. I like being on camera.
Good. So let's go way back.
Okay.
Were you born and raised in St. Louis or the St. Louis area or not?
Actually, no. So kind of a military brat, so to speak. My dad was Air Force and retired out of Scott Air Force Base in Illinois. So I worked at our Illinois dealership in Fairview Heights for about 5 years, and then came out here about 2 years ago.
But where did you grow up? Where was you born and grow up?
Oh yeah,
originally.
I was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and then we moved around a bunch, being a military family, and then came here. Went to high school in Illinois at Belleville East. And then graduated from there. So I don't know where home is. It's everywhere. But this has been home the longest, I guess.
So you started. Let's slow down a little bit. You were born in New Mexico.
Right.
How long were you in New Mexico for?
Not long. I was only a year and a half old when we moved, and then we were in Oklahoma. From there. Right. From there we were here, and then three places in Germany. Came back here.
How long did you live in Germany?
So almost 6 years. So
really?
Did a lot of traveling over there, which is pretty
How old
phenomenal.
were you when you were in Germany?
I was 8 when we went and 14 when I came back, or almost 14 when I came back.
Oh, so you have memories there for sure.
Oh yeah, did a lot of traveling, which is great.
So did you? Let's touch on that real quick. Did you
went to your home country several times?
So you went to school in Germany?
Yeah, it was one of the Air Force schools though.
I was going to say,
one of the ones on base. It wasn't a real school.
I was going to say
a real overseas school.
That'd be a huge transition going from America to a German school, and no one speaks English.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be great. But the good thing about that, I'm sure you got to witness a lot of different cultures for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that was one of the most fun things about it. So all the food over there is of course amazing. All the traveling that we got to do.
Back up. Say that again. Did you just say Europe's food's amazing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know about England, but I wasn't a big fan of the breakfast in England. Let's put it that way. But fish and chips and all that kind of stuff.
Fish and chips, you don't have that for breakfast.
Well, I know, but later in the day we could eat. But mostly as a kid, it would seem like.
Please tell me, how do you not like a full English breakfast?
Maybe I didn't have a proper English breakfast. That's very possible. As a kid, maybe they just gave me some pastries or something that weren't very sweet. Like the German sweets are not really that sweet.
No. So, well, that's because it doesn't have pesticides and things that make it last 24 years.
So in fairness, I probably need to try a proper English breakfast before I can actually say that.
I don't want to get too off on a tangent here, but I'm gonna say a couple of things. Okay. The reason why Americans assume that English food is bland is because it does not have the chemicals in it to keep it around for a long time. That's why
because it's real food.
Yeah, they don't. It's everything's sweet here because it's got sugars in it to keep and syrups in it to keep it going.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's the big difference. So if you're watching from the US and you say that England has crappy food, it's not. It's because it's got no chemicals in it. That's why.
Fair enough.
So you moved you were 14 when you left Germany.
Yep.
Then where did you go after Germany?
So after Germany, came back to this area, but the Illinois side, and in Belleville for since then really.
Yeah.
I went to Belleville East High School there, so I got there just before high school started.
So when you moved to Belleville originally, after
I was Germany. Like 3 or 4 years old the first time we came to Belleville.
Yeah.
And then came back when I was 14.
But when you were 14, obviously you still lived with your parents and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you just decided to stay in Belleville?
Yeah, I mean, it's, Belleville's not a bad area. My brother teaches school right there. My folks are there. So we're just up the road in O'Fallon, actually. We moved there 2 years ago, but it's basically the same area as Belleville.
Oh, you're in O'Fallon now?
Yep, just moved to O'Fallon a couple years ago, but it's all that same Belleville, O'Fallon, Swansea area.
I always assume
it's all the same Metro East, Yeah.
So when you moved back, you went to high school in Illinois.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Anything past high school?
Yeah, I went to SWIC for 2 years, what they used to call Belleville Area College. Nobody knows what that is anymore. But I went to SWIC for 2 years and got the associate's degree there, and then went to SIUE and just a semester and a half or so shy of my bachelor's degree in Spanish. So at some point I'll go back and finish that just for the sense of accomplishment.
So let's tell everyone at home, your brother actually teaches Spanish. Correct?
He does, yeah. So he's a Spanish teacher at East High School where we both graduated. So he ended up wanting to go back and teach at the school he went to. I can't imagine.
And you speak fluent Spanish, correct?
Yep, yeah. So I speak that really, really well. And he does a little bit, but the truth is most of what he knows, he'll probably see this, but anyway, it's book Spanish. So the stuff he teaches, he knows well. Actually, a conversation that's a bit more challenging.
Really?
Yeah. So
he teaches a language that.
Well, it's what he practices every day is the very basic beginner stuff, but he doesn't, his interactions are mostly with the students, whereas mine are mostly with native speakers. So a big difference as far as like language ability goes. He doesn't have to get out of his comfort zone. Is it because of like
slang words and?
Yeah, that, and he just doesn't have to come up with it, so he doesn't have to use things outside of whatever they teach in school a lot of the time, if he's not having a conversation with somebody that's not a student.
Yeah. So most students are going to read back what they've already learned.
Pretty much, But I have a lot of Spanish-speaking friends and worked in the Mexican restaurants for a long time before working here too. So hanging out with them really gives me a chance to practice my skills. And here, every once in a while, we had a customer the other day from Colombia, and so she spoke some English, and her husband was a native to California. He spoke Spanish really well, but we did pretty much the whole deal in Spanish. And that way, she was more comfortable because it was her native language.
And we now have 3 salespeople that speak Spanish.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a big place to get Spanish speakers in, and have it done in their own language, so it's easy.
Yeah, we have. If you don't know, we have 2 females and 1 male, all fluent Spanish speakers. Yep. So we have a very diverse floor. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's a nice team for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So college, you went and did that. What did you after college?
So after college, it was. Well, my father-in-law's first job that he got me after college, he tried to help me out to get into civil service. It's what my dad did. And so I thought, get a government job and work for taxpayer service for IRS, which I tell people now. Back then he told me just tell people you work for the Treasury Department because that's the most hated agency pretty much for the government. But I did taxpayer service in Spanish over the phone and walk-in customers and stuff. So that really helped my Spanish get to a new level too. Because if you're speaking Spanish 10 hours a day, I mean, at the end of the day, it's pretty tough to even speak in English. And we had a Spanish group there that they were all native speakers, and they helped me out a lot with the language stuff.
So I know we keep going on about the Spanish thing, but it's always intrigued me.
It's a theme somehow with me and my brother.
There's many a time that I hear Spanish speaking, and then they'll throw an English word in there and everywhere. Why does that happen?
I think most of the time that happens because an awful lot of the people speaking Spanish here are maybe not native born from that country, or if they are, they left when they were young. So, the Spanish they know pretty well from their parents might not include things like truck. You'll hear that in the middle of a conversation. ¿Cuánto cuesta la troca? Or they'll say the truck, because they might not know the actual word for a truck or for a van. So you'll just see words get thrown in, and people don't really know how to say the technical word for that in Spanish.
So it's not a direct translation issue.
Not usually,
just because they may not know that word.
Pretty much, yeah. So they'll just kind of Spanglishicize it, as we call it, make it Spanglish, kind of a combination of the two.
That's funny.
I know. And I do the same thing. If I don't know the word, I throw it out in English and hope they know, What
was that movie with Spanglish? Didn't that have Jennifer Aniston in it?
It was, or that guy from Friends, Matthew, I want to say, was he in that? I don't know. Now we all have to go watch it, I guess.
Yeah, there we are. We've done book reviews. Now we've got to do movie reviews. Spanglish. That's right. I'm pretty sure Jennifer Aniston's in it. I'm sure Zach can find a screenshot of it.
Yeah, Zach will know for sure.
So you work for the IRS for a little bit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm going to have to not tell Bryan so much about my finance.
Actually, the opposite. If you ever need help, I can help out. So I still have friends that work there.
So after that, what did you do after that?
After that, I was working in the restaurant business in the Mexican restaurants to keep my Spanish good. And then I started my own business for about 15 years teaching private Spanish lessons.
Oh, really?
So my brother and I both teach Spanish just in different avenues, with different directions. We have night and day different personalities, so that structure works real well for him, and the other worked well for me because I have more of a creative personality that wants to make my own schedule, make my own curriculum, and tailor it to the customer, to the students.
And you're married, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How'd you meet your wife?
We met at a Bryan steakhouse, which I don't think we have around here anymore. But she was a hostess there.
A Ryan?
Ryan's Steakhouse. Yeah, you guys.
Is it a chain?
It's a chain. You know about those, Zach.
How did you know about it?
One in my hometown.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? Okay. There is still one in your hometown?
It was.
I don't even know if they exist anymore, but there was one in Fairview Heights in Illinois there, and I was a server. She was a hostess, and we just started going out for
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, very much Golden Corral-ish, So basically the same principle.
Like Sizzler? We're going Sizzler.
We're going Sizzler, that's right. But no, it was a fun.
I only know that steakhouse because of White Men Can't Jump.
Right. That's why everybody knows that steakhouse.
And you know what's crazy? One time I think I was in Florida, and I drove past, and there's a restaurant called The Sizzler, and I took like multiple pictures of it, and I'm going to send them to Zach, because I was like, oh my God, it's real, The Sizzler.
Well, that movie probably made them famous. That was a nice plug.
And it is a real place. It's a real chain. Yeah, I didn't realize that.
That's cool.
It's kind of like, I guess, like Golden Corral.
Yeah.
So
well, and the, I think most of the restaurants I worked at, I really liked that Spanish-speaking aspect. So that was an appeal with the car business too. Was being able to, do the purchases and help people either buy a car or finance a car or whatever in their own language.
So we kind of glazed over your wife. How long have you been with your wife for?
So we've been together 21 years and then married it'll be 16 in September.
Cool.
So she had to date a little while to make sure she could commit to this. So
wow,
which I understand that. I'm a big commitment.
Takes a lot to get you in.
For sure.
After the restaurant business, was that the car business?
Yeah. So after that was the car business. A buddy of mine that sold my wife her car several years back just kept bugging me to try it out. And he's
Who was that?
Terry Wilson over at Offenburg. He's been there about 30 years. Super nice guy. And, he's like, you're already waiting tables, so you're basically in sales as it is. The higher somebody's check, in theory, the better the tips should be, and work long hours already, kind of, work with people, this is mostly a people skills and people business. So, said you can make quite a bit more, have good benefits, and, have a lot of fun with
Which brand did you work for?
Over there, I was at their pre-owned store. And, great training, really set me up for success as far as the car business goes. Buddy of mine came to work for the Lou Fuse in Fairview Heights. Shortly after that, he had been at Offenburg, and the hours were just better here. For me, I think it's a great, it can be a great place to buy a car if you have the right person in front of you. But from a work standpoint, Lou Fuse has been a great family-owned, business, and they treat their employees like that. So that was a big appeal coming here, as it's, a little bit less hours, still treat you good, pay you well. They treat customers good, so you go home at the end of the day, you feel good about the job that you've done. So, it's just a great dealer group to work for.
Okay, let's jump forward. How long were you Alpha for?
I was there for right about 5 years. Almost 5, yeah. So.
What brought you over to Ford? Which is what, an hour drive every day?
Yeah, it's about an hour drive with traffic. If there's not much, maybe 45 minutes. But, I mean, the team that you work with is often everything, right? So you and I worked together a little bit at the Mazda store in the past, and so I knew you a little bit, knew of you, knew you were somebody I would like to work with. Chris at the time, my sales manager who hired me at the other store, was here as the general manager. So it was a nice opportunity to come and work with him again, work with you, and work at a little bit higher volume store too.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, I don't mind the drive. It lets me shift into work mode on the way in and kind of relax and shift out, on the way back home.
Good.
So.
Trust me, I did that drive for a little bit when I lived in Bethalto, Illinois, and worked in Creve Coeur.
It's one of those you just kind of embrace it because you can't do anything about it. So find a positive spin and listen to nice chill music on the way home or a training video or something like that.
Cool.
So
let's touch on a part that's probably going to be tough for you as it was for me. What was it like when Chris passed for you? Because you knew him. Yeah, you knew him. As long as me, or if not longer. Yeah,
probably about the same, But it was tough. He's a really good, mentor. He's one of those bosses that doesn't come along that often. So he was a good friend, good mentor, but he would also, really hold your feet to the fire and make sure that you did your job. But so it was tough. He gave me my first shot for doing finance for Lou Fuse. We had somebody retire over there that had been with the network for a really long time. Not a convenient store for most other people to go and work at for finance, so he gave me a shot when I probably hadn't really been doing it long enough to deserve it, but it ended up working out pretty well. But it's been tough. When you lose somebody close to you, it's it's hard. But you come back here and he worked really hard to make this store succeed. He wanted the network to succeed, wanted me to succeed. So I mean, one of the best things I can do to honor that is, just give my work 100%, 110%, and, help make the store what he wanted it to be and be the kind of person he challenged me to be.
Yep.
So.
And you and I took a trip to Virginia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad we got to do that, and got to see that's the first time I've been to Arlington for a funeral. So I didn't know, what that was like, but that was a heck of an experience,
Yeah, it was.
with the Marines or whoever it is that are in the honor guard doing that.
And during COVID, which was really weird.
Yeah, that really added a whole extra thing to it. The airports were empty and, just a weird experience, but tough time, but, hopefully it makes us tougher.
Yeah. How do you think things are going on here right now?
Oh, I love it. I mean, it's been, it's a phenomenal place to come buy a vehicle right now. We're light on new inventory, but, we work really hard to make it a great experience for folks, find something that works for them, put financing or the numbers in place for them and make it affordable. So, I mean, with COVID and all that kind of stuff, it's not as easy as it used to be, but I mean, things are going fantastic at this store.
Aspirations for the future?
I mean, I love what I'm doing, so I think I'll continue to work for this network for a long time. Probably being in finance, I seem to really, really like that. So at the moment, I think that's, probably what I plan to do for the next, 10, 15, potentially 20 years or so.
Cool.
Yeah, just love the car business.
Sweet. Well, I think that's about all I've got for you. Okay. I'm going to turn a little shorter. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I don't have anything particularly. So other than I apparently need to figure out what a proper English breakfast is before I criticize it. So who knows what my parents gave me. And my impression was I just didn't like at least the breakfast food in England. I think I liked everything else. So I don't know what they gave me for breakfast.
I'm intrigued to figure out.
I don't know, man. I'll find out.
Like a full English breakfast is like...
It's probably like bagels and pastries, or what do you
No,
guys
it's
do?
like...
I don't know.
It's 2 everything. 2 sausage, 2 bacon, 2 eggs, beans...
maybe they gave me
mushrooms,
a French breakfast or something.
I don't know.
I didn't care.
Yeah, they may have given me a continental breakfast, but I'll show you what a full English looks like.
Okay.
It's like
so I'll have to do that, and then I'll come back to you and let you know what I think.
Yeah,
so.
Let's do that.
Okay, that's all I got.
One thing I do want to do though is before we leave, say something about the store or to the customers in Spanish.
Oh, sure.
Or why they should come to us.
Yeah, es un lugar especial y aquí vas a encontrar personas que le pueden ayudar a comprar un carro en español, una troca, a truck, una camioneta o que sea. Tenemos 3 personas aquí que hablan español, que venden carros, y yo también que hago las finanzas. So es un lugar muy bueno, le vamos a tratar muy bien y va a ser una experiencia buena para ustedes, ¿okay? Y así pueden también crecer el crédito y quizás en el futuro para comprar una casa o que sea también.
See, I told you could speak fluent Spanish. So
basically just said it's a great place to buy a
Zach
car.
doesn't know this yet, but he's got to translate that and subtitle it.
Oh, good luck, Zach. I'll jot it down for you.
I'm sorry to tell you, if you are watching and you don't understand Spanish, neither do I, and we're not going to subtitle it.
That's right. That's all I got, buddy.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining us.
For sure. It was fun.
Appreciate it. It was fun.
Yeah.
Good. As always, every loop fuse forward, we can replace the car and not the customer, and I'll see you all next week.